Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Feni and I've been working remotely since 2019. Over the years, I've worked with international teams, collaborated across different time zones, and I have firsthand seen what global companies look for when hiring. And one question I get all the time is, how can African developers compete for the global market? How can you stand out in the global market? That is a really great question, and good news is that remote work has opened doors that simply didn't exist a decade ago. Today, a developer in Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, Kigali, Cape Town, in any African city can work for companies in Europe, North America, Asia, and also beyond. But here's the reality. Being a good developer is no longer enough. Thousands and thousands of developers are applying for the same jobs time and time. And for you to stand up, you need a strategy, you need visibility, and you need to position yourself really very well. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything African developers need to know to become highly attractive candidates in the global market. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I'd love to tell you is understand what the global companies really want. The first mistake most developers make is assuming that companies only are going to care about your coding skills. And that is not true. Global companies are hiring for three things. Number one is the technical skills. Can you actually build solutions? Can you write clean code? Can you solve problems? Can you contribute to production systems? Then number two, communication skills. Remote work runs on communication. Are you able to explain your ideas clearly? Are you able to write professional messages or emails very well? Can you collaborate without needing constant supervision? Then number three is reliability. Can people trust you? Do you meet the deadlines that is given to you? Do you show up consistently? Do you take ownership of your work? Many talented developers lose these opportunities because they focus only on the coding skills and you ignore the communication part and the reliability part. Now next is you need to really have a strong portfolio. If you're applying for remote jobs, your portfolio will speak before you actually do. Think about it. Recruiters may spend less than a minute reviewing your profile. So what are they going to see? Make sure you have a professional GitHub profile, and your GitHub profile should show active projects, clean repositories, meaningful commit history, and a proper documentation. Avoid empty repositories and also unfinished projects. Also make sure that your GitHub has real projects. Build things people can actually use. Things like e-commerce applications, booking systems, SaaS dashboards, mobile apps, and API services, AI-powered tools if you can. This is because the more practical projects you have, the chances are better. Then you can also have personal websites. You have to create a portfolio website that includes like about you, the skills that you have, the projects you've worked on, and also your contact information. Your personal website can also have your resume, and also your website normally becomes your digital headquarters. So don't keep your projects on your local computer. Make sure that you have them either in your portfolio or on your GitHub repository. Then this is the most important thing, become visible online. One of the biggest opportunities available today is personal branding. Many developers are skilled, very few are really visible. Visibility creates opportunities. Use LinkedIn. Post about the projects you're building, build in public, post about the lessons you're learning, technical challenges you've solved, career insights, Recruiters are actively searching on LinkedIn for talent. So you need to really position yourself. Now, another thing is share on X and dev communities. This one has personally worked for me. When you're on X and you're sharing the things you're building, the projects you're working on, and all these dev communities, platform like X or Twitter, Dev2, Hashnode, Medium, you can write about your experiences and share with people. Now, these platforms allow you to showcase your expertise. You don't need thousands of followers. You just need the right people to see your work. Then there's also building in public. Document your journey. Show your progress, show your failures, show your learning process. This is because people hire developers they can trust. So visibility helps you build that trust. The next section is mastering communication. This is where many remote opportunities are won or lost. Imagine two developers with similar technical skills. One communicates clearly, the other one struggles to explain his ideas or to explain his work. Who gets hired? Usually, it turns out to be the better communicator. So make sure that you improve on your written communication. Practice this by writing concise messages, write technical documentations, also write status updates on different projects you're working. Then also you can improve your spoken communication. And trust me, you don't need a foreign accent. Let me repeat that. You don't need an American accent to be able to speak to an American, or you don't need a British accent to speak to a British person. You simply need clear communication. If you're able to speak and someone understands you, that is the way to go. So focus on your confidence, clarity, active listening. This is because these global companies, they care more about understanding you than your accent. So the next section is learn high demand skills. Technology evolves quickly. Developers who stay relevant get noticed. Some high demand areas include backend development. These are using tools like Node.js, Python, PHP, Go, whatever, Java. Then we also have front-end development. These you can use tools like React, Next.js, TypeScript, etc. Then also another high demand skill is cloud computing. Tools like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Another high in demand skill is DevOps. If you are so good at tools like Docker, Kubernetes, CI, CD, this is really one of the greatest skills you can have as a developer. And then also one of the most trending these days is AI, that is artificial intelligence. You can do things like AI integrations, machine learning, and by the way, you do not need to learn everything. You don't need to learn everything. You just have to pick one path. You become exceptional at it, and then depth often beats breadth. Number 6, I think that it's also a good thing to gain some international experience. A common concern among African developers is I don't have international experience. Here's the truth though. You can create an international experience. Someone is asking why. You can just contribute to open source projects. There are so many global open source projects out there. You can contribute to them. This will demonstrate your ability to collaborate. It will also showcase your code quality. And when you're working with open source, you get feedback, so you also have teamwork. Then also you can go ahead and do freelancing. Actually, I have been freelancing for the longest time I can remember. And this allows you to work with clients worldwide. And some of the platforms are Upwork, TopTal, Fiverr. Personally, Upwork has worked for me really well. Then also you can work on volunteer projects. I've done a couple of volunteer projects, especially during my free time. And you work with non-profits and startups abroad. This gives you experience with working for an international company. So next is optimize your resume. Many developers are rejected because of weak resumes. Your resume should be clean, it should be modern, it should be updated, and also it should be results oriented. Instead of saying, I built web applications, you just have to say, I built a customer management platform that reduced manual workflow by 40%. It is result oriented. And then also you need to focus on the impact. Numbers grab attention. Results get interviews. So next is you also need to prepare for remote interviews. Interview preparation matters. Practice for those interviews. These are the technical interviews, the soft skill interviews, and let's talk about the technical interviews. These are basically in topics of data structures, algorithms, system design, coding challenges, and many other types. And then also there is behavioral interviews. These ones, basically they're like, tell me about yourself, describe these challenges, how do you handle remote collaboration, how do you deal with a given situation. They're just trying to test how you approach all that. So prepare stories from your actual experience and how they align with that particular job you're applying for, because you have to be authentic, because authenticity beats memorized answers. You don't have to memorize a random answer. Just pick a project that you've worked on and leverage on that. So also leverage on your African advantage. This may surprise you, yeah? Being an African is not a disadvantage. In many cases, it's an advantage. Now, this is basically because African developers are known for adaptability, resilience, resourcefulness, strong problem-solving skills. Let me tell you guys, we are really very resilient despite the challenges we have, and many have learned to build solutions despite the infrastructure challenges. These experiences create really strong engineers that are able to adapt. And don't try to hide your background, by the way. Use it as part of your story. Be confident. Your journey matters. So number 10 is networking. I always say networking is a career accelerator. Many remote jobs are never publicly advertised. Yes, much as there are some that you'll see online, but most of them actually come through relationships. Connect with developers, connect with recruiters, startup founders, go for these networking events, connect with those engineering managers. Because I've been in situations whereby someone I worked for in the past has recommended me to the next person. And it's because of the relationships you create with the people you network with. You can join tech communities, virtual conferences, developer groups, online meetups. One conversation can change your entire career. So if there's one thing I want you to remember from this video is the global remote market is more accessible today than even ever before. Companies are no longer asking, where are you from? They're asking, what value can you bring? So my fellow African developers, make sure that you focus on building strong skills, create visible work, improve your communication, network consistently, and also stay curious and learn. And most importantly, be patient. Remote success does not happen overnight. It is built through consistency. And as someone who has been working remotely since 2019, I can tell you that the opportunities exist. They exist. And the developers who win are usually not the smartest. They're the ones who consistently show up for themselves. They're the ones that are consistently learning, improving, and putting themselves out there. So thank you so much for watching. This has been our Sunday highlight, and I hope if this video was helpful, make sure that you subscribe, like, and share. And also let me know in the comment section, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to applying for remote jobs or when it comes to finding remote jobs. I'll see you in the next video.